First video together.
Yeah, this is my wife, my beautiful wife, Lauren. Part of the reason that I am the person that I am becoming, because I let her down way too many times in the, how long have we been together for? 17 years maybe?
17.
17 years we've been together.
Right. I've got an idea. I've got a box.
What's in the box?
350, that's the number of days you're in jail.
What's it?
I don't know. Close to.
Okay.
Close to, I was only joking.
But what's in the box?
All Caleb's prison letters. So we're going to lucky dip it.
Okay.
And we'll see how it goes. We don't know if this is going to be good or bad. We don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, we don't know.
This is a, hang on. Straight from Arthur Gorey. Look how terrible your handwriting is. My goodness.
It is terrible. Definitely hasn't gotten any better. Definitely won't.
Oh, boys. You may need to go digging anyway.
It's not mixing anything up.
They don't know that.
Just take a letter out.
We're going to go dig. It's in the bottom. We're going to go. But this is kind of cool.
Little drawings that I'll do.
To the kids.
Send to the kids.
Alright. Oh my god. These are the drawing books that I would send you in prison so you could draw for the kids.
Yeah, so
We haven't read through any of these before.
I wanted to learn to draw when I was in jail, and there's no books or classes or anything, and Lauren would have to send me books ripped into like little pages because the jail wouldn't let us send books in.
Can't send anything, so I'd have to tear out the pages and send them in to prison in letters.
And then some would get flagged because they would have like too much revealing things or something, even though it was just how to draw. It was ridiculous. So have you found anything yet?
No, I'm going deep. I'm going down.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go. Come on. What's the?
I don't know.
Or is this all rehab work I do?
No. All right. This is dated the 28th of the 2nd. Should I read it or should you?
No, you can read it. So I got pinched on the 4th of February, and I was in the watch house for 2 weeks. So 7, 14, 18. So I got to jail on the 18th, and this is the 28th. So this
could be one of your first letters.
One of my first letters, 10 days after I've got into jail.
But then we do story time. So Kaylin was in prison. No, you were in the watch house for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I couldn't speak to you at all, so we hadn't spoken.
Yeah.
At all. And then you got your first phone call when you got to prison.
Yeah.
But it was at night, and I was on sleeping tablets, so I don't actually remember your phone call. And I was so upset, and I thought it was a dream. And I came out and I was like, oh, I had the weirdest dream, Mum. I dreamt that Caleb called last night. And you did. And I was so upset because then my number wasn't approved, so I didn't speak to you for like another 4 weeks after that.
Yeah.
So we probably haven't spoken by this point, or that I can remember anyway.
Yeah, that was hard.
I can't believe that anyway. Could have had a daytime phone call. Thanks for that. All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking at it? You know what's in it?
I don't know. I don't remember. Just read it.
All right. Beautiful family. Where do I even start? What a fucking mess I have left. I'm so sorry to all of you for so many different reasons. I have left you all to fix this mess, and none of you deserve any of it. I have come to terms with the fact that I have absolutely no one to blame except for myself. I had everything I needed in front of me the whole time, but I was too caught up in my bullshit and addiction and trying to be like my dad that I ended up exactly the same as him. All I ever had to do was listen to you, and none of this would have happened. But none of this matters now. What matters is I'm becoming the best version of myself and my family, so you all can get the best version of me, and this all wasn't for nothing. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Committed to that.
And you think that I am committing to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I think what you do...
Because I am definitely trying the hardest I've ever tried to change my life before. And that was literally the first letter I ever wrote from jail. And I've never read that since I've wrote that. So, like, I feel really good that I'm actually doing what I said for once in my life.
I was going to say, when you look back all the times that you've tried to change yourself, I don't think you really did.
No, I never did.
No,
I always wanted to. Like, I always wanted to change, but I just didn't, I guess. I don't know. I guess it just took me like the biggest kick up the ass that you could ever get kicked with to do it, you know? And, you know, I've said it before, like, I'm truly happy that I went to jail because I had to go to jail. Like, I was just living on the wrong path for such a long time that I was stuck in the trap, you know? I was stuck in that perpetual cycle of just poison, you know? And, yeah, you know.
I'm going to read the next section.
Yeah, okay, read the next section.
I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here, but what's new?
Yeah.
I'm not religious, but the first day in the watch house, I prayed to God, and I would get bail. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. I began to think why, and it occurred to me I was sent here for a reason, to learn my lesson once and for all, and to change for good. The watch house strips you of everything, which I soon figured out was a good thing. It made me reflect and internalize and realize I need to right my wrongs. I had to go to jail to realize it isn't a fun place. Haha.
So I just want to stop you for a second.
Love learning the hard way.
So anyone who's ever been to a watch house, I went to Beanley Watch House. Beanley Watch House, someone was telling me, I don't know if this is true, accurate. Beanley Watch House is the oldest watch house in Queensland, right? There's no windows. You do not see the sun. And so when I got to the watch house was at the start of last year when there was all those crazy floods up north. And so...
Yeah, with the cyclone.
Yeah, the cyclone. And so what happened was all of the prisoners from a few jails were getting moved down to Queensland for like emergency evacuation because everything was flooding. So because of that, there was no room for me to go to jail, right? And I literally was stuck there. I didn't see light. I didn't see anything for 2 weeks. So 14 days actually, and it was my birthday in the watch house too. I got pinched on the 4th. My birthday was on the 13th, and I thought that just, you know, out of just, I guess, like some fucked up, sick and twisted joke that I would go to jail on my birthday. I didn't. I ended up staying there past my birthday. And the funniest thing about when you're in the watch house for such a long period of time is that I'd never been to jail before, and I'd been in the watch house for so long that I actually was praying to go to jail. I was like, just hurry up and fucking take me to jail. And everyone in there, like heaps of them had been in and out all the time. They're like, brother, the watch house is way worse than jail. Like, trust me, you want to get to jail. So, yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Right. Anyway, enough of that. Look, I'll be okay. I always am. I just need you all to be strong for me, because one thing I am learning about jail is your family is doing time too.
And this is actually crazy because I was about to make a video and I still am going to make a video about how much harder it is for the people outside of jail who are with you. How they do jail too. Like, it was hard for my children and my wife and my mum and all the people that had to pick up all my pieces and go without me than it was for me. Like, if you're not running a drug habit, if you're not getting involved in politics in jail, and if you just do your own thing, jail's pretty easy. Like, you just wake up, train, go back to your cell, watch TV, eat, do it again, right? It's the people outside that truly suffer, you know, and I learned that pretty early on.
So every phone call needs to leave on a good note, because neither one of us wants to be sitting here sad.
Yeah, so that...
I don't think
so all the
phone call.
No. So
the fact that you're in jail, that makes
so this is the thing. As soon as I got to jail, I got really lucky, right? Heaps of dudes in jail who had done heaps of jail were like, just like, were helping me out and just dropping knowledge and just being like, brother, this is what you don't want to do. That's what you don't want to do. Don't fight with your people, because then you'll be fucking locked away in the cell. You won't be able to make a phone call till the next day, and you'll be stewing all night. So no matter what, I just tried to not argue with my wife. And really, I had no leg to stand on anyway, because I fucked my life up so monumentally that I just, like, it's crazy, right? When I, like, you can see from that letter, you know, it took me about 20 minutes of being in jail to start really self-reflecting, because by the time I went to jail, I'd already been in the watch house in like solitary confinement for like 14 days, heavily detoxing from drugs, like heavily, just in my thoughts, you know, and I did pray to God that I would get bail, and all my coies got bail, but I didn't get bail. And at first, I was dirty, right? But then when I started like soul searching and I started really thinking about like, why did this happen? It's because I needed to learn my lesson, like, good and proper. Like, and that's why whenever I talk about going to jail and, you know, things like that, even though jail was shit, I sort of look at jail in a way as a positive experience, because I did really well in jail. Like, I lost a lot of weight.
You did
I learned
to rehab.
Yeah, I did a lot of rehab. Lauren sent me in course. Part of the reason I got bail, because they were opposing my bail, they didn't want to give me bail, is because Lauren sent me in rehab courses, and I did a lot of courses in jail, and I was just really like committed to change, you know?
I think the view was so you were in prison for what, 9 months?
Yeah.
As soon as you got there, you applied for a rehab program.
Yeah.
And how long did that take? And what it was like it was a
No,
total
it was
of 6
longer.
hours.
Yeah, it was a 6 hour, so...
A total of 6 hours for rehab, and you didn't get it till like 6 months in. So the point was, like, you wanted to change, which is interesting because the next line on your letter says that.
Yeah.
But you wanted to change, but for someone that wanted to change, there was no resources available to you to change.
Yeah, and I learned that pretty quickly, like, especially, well, in a remand, it's very, I don't know if ironic's the right word, but I was in a remand centre, right? And that's where people go before they get sentenced, right? And so some people are stuck there for years. Like, I had mates in there on murder charges, and they've been there for 3.5, nearly 4 years, okay? And the thing about remand is that there's way less facilities. Like, because it's meant to be like a short-term thing, you know? And There's not as many courses. There's not as much availability to do anything. And you'd think, right, all the good courses and stuff are at sentence jails. But a lot of people who go to remand, like me, have just realised they fucked their life and they want to fix it, but they can't. You know what I mean? So that was something that was frustrating. And so, yeah, we improvised. And my wife started sending courses into the jail, and I started doing them and sending them back. And that was a big part of the reason I got bail, because I haven't talked much about my case.
And not only just for bail, but
yeah,
you started to change your life around as well.
And I haven't talked much about my case, and it's still ongoing. So whatever I talk about is public knowledge, right? I'll obviously go heaps into it once I've been sentenced. Hopefully, hopefully I'm out when I get sentenced. But
I think until you get sentenced, there's a lot you still can't talk about.
That's right.
Once you are sentenced, then you will share a lot more of your story.
Yeah, that's right. And the reason I'm doing this is because I really want to make people aware that it's never too late to change. You know what I mean? Like before this, I'd had a very, very bad relationship with drugs, using drugs, alcohol, prescription drugs, pretty much everything you could imagine. Since I was 13 years old, I've been a bad drug addict. Like, I've been an alcoholic, I've been addicted to pills, speed, everything, all that sort of stuff, right? And as I got older, it just sort of got worse and worse and worse until one day it was just out of control, and I sort of didn't really even know how I got there. And now I'm 38 years old, and from 13 to 37 when I stopped, it's over 20 years. That's a long time to change. And I know there's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of people who've been writing to me saying, I don't know where to start, or it's hard, I need to do this and that. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set sort of like a roadmap for someone who's thinking about changing, or is maybe in the rock bottom and they just don't know where to start, because I've already made all those mistakes. And when I was in jail, I hung out with a whole bunch of dudes who were career criminals, who'd been in and out their whole entire life, right? Dudes who'd done 5, 10 straight, all sorts of stuff, right? And they've all told me about how much jail is a waste of fucking time, and jail is a waste of life. And once you start fucking up and going to jail, it's a revolving door, So I really took that on board because I just knew I had to turn my life around, or I was going to be doing mad years, you know what I mean? And I knew that from then on in, if I kept pursuing that lifestyle, that I would just be in and out of jail for the rest of my life. And I truly saw what it did to my wife, my mum, my children. I remember the first time I went to a visit. The first visit's behind the glass, like a boxy, that's what they call it. And my mum was there and my wife. And I just remember they were just crying the whole time. And I just felt like such a fucking piece of shit. And because I didn't want to bring my children to jail, I saw my children on the screen, but I didn't touch or see my children the whole 9 months. And I've been with my children. I hadn't had a day apart from my children since the day either of them was born. But I made a decision when I went to jail that was my burden to bear, because I had fucked up and I had to live with that. And I didn't want to fuck my kids up any more than I already had, So, yeah, look, yeah,
says, Lauren, you're the love of my life, my soulmate, my Julie, my beloved, and I promise I'm coming back to you a changed man.
Yeah, and I meant that, you know. Don't worry about that. That's just a bunch of things I needed her to do. Go see this guy, go do that, do this. And she's, no, I'm not doing any of that retarded shit, Callum. Yeah, but I vowed that I would come back a changed man. And I really meant what I said, because one good thing about my wife, right, is that I've been a perpetual fuck up for 20 years. There's times where I'll go real good, but it's the same shit. I just fuck up eventually, right?
And I got to experience 16 of those years.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, like, she's always been there to pick up the pieces, and you know, I just, when I got to jail, I just realised, I was like, it's time to be the man she deserves, you know? And she said to me, she goes, and this was super gangster too, because at the time, when I first got to jail, they're trying to throw all sorts of crazy numbers at me, you know? And so my wife's like, look, I'm there for you, as much jail as you do, but when you come home, if you fuck up again and go back, then I'm done. I'm not putting the kids through that. And I said to her, I said, that's fair and reasonable, and I'm not going to fuck up. And so far, I haven't fucked up. And
so far,
and
you
so
will not.
No,
there is
I
no
know.
so far. This is your change. This is it now.
And look, I think this can be the end of part 1 of reading random letters that I wrote to my wife in jail and reflecting on the mess I made of our life. What do you think, darling?
Part 1. There's a lot more. A shit ton, let's just say. Hang on, let's give a little example of how much is actually in this box.
Yeah, look, I had a lot of apologies that I had to write, you know, so there was a lot of letters. But anyway, look, everyone, thank you for listening. I really hope that I can spread awareness in the right way for anyone who's going down the path of just being a crim, really, you know, just day to day doing the wrong thing, you know, battling addiction, just living that life, you know, like, it's fucking dog shit. Trust me, I've lived it. My wife's lived it, even though she's a beautiful soul, even though she's never done a bad thing in her life, you know, and even my poor mum's had to live it too, and it's not fair to the people around you. So
let us know if you want more. There's a lot of emotional stuff in here.
Yeah, well, thank you, everyone. Have a good day.